doing. They're never exactly sure how they should react as well. It just kind of gives that extra little lever that you have to work with.
The power of the flex pick. We'll see whether or not it shines through in this draft. This could be the last game for the GPL. They lose here, they are done, and the LMS will advance to the All-Star Finals, where they will do battle with LPL or LCK. Malzahar once again finds himself in the ban pool. Do not want to give that one over to Patrick. BB's Jin has been taken off the table, and Zoe on the blue side.
Yeah, so Zoe's going to be taken off. They're not looking for the first pick, so they don't want to give it over as a first-round selection. And I'm hoping that SEA will be able to bounce back. I want a third game of this one. So many exciting players, and being able to see even a guy like Jisoo, who I don't think has been that well known, really kind of make a bit of more of a name for himself, playing some assassins, playing some very aggressive style, having a lot of fun in the 1v1. It's good to see people who are willing to kind of break the meta a little bit and have confidence in their own picks, even if they are not popular elsewhere.
See, I quite like that, and I'm hoping one day we see that more frequently, because if players can make their comfort picks that are quote-unquote non-meta work, then all of a sudden you start seeing huge changes. But
exactly.
You need to win with it first. So let's see whether or not Jisoo can. Ezreal was banned away from Southeast Asia, and sound the horn. There goes On once again in the ban pool.
MF up, Xerath up. There are some options certainly there if they were looking for either of those picks. If they're worried about the Rise, you could take that away. If you think that's going to be a powerful takeaway. It's actually a first pick, Jace. This is pretty interesting. Traditionally is a top laner, but you can see it go mid. And unless they are showing their other solo lane here, that can, force some kind of change, or you can try to put it wherever it's going to be most advantageous based on the LMS draft. But you are leaving up a lot of the super powerful picks. I mean, you could go MF Xerath bot lane, which would be a nightmare to play into.
Oh, that would be... I actually really do not enjoy watching poke, because you poke someone, they run away, and then you chip the tower. You poke someone, they run away, chip... Like, that play cycle can get so frustrating, and even more frustrating to play against, because you have to dodge so much. Anyways, it's not going to be the Xerath yet. Sejuani Misfortune. Jisoo has played Jace once already. And, of course, Leona was banned last game.
Leona was banned, and Leona traditionally a very good answer to the MF. You're stuck in one place where you're ulting. Well, guess what? Leona's ultimate can answer that very well. But because you have this as either a support or AD carry, you can flex around a little bit if you do actually see the Leona locked in. It's not going to be that choice. It is going to be Levi back on the Nidalee, and we did get to see some Glacial Augment Nidalee. There are certainly a couple different options you can go for runes on this character, and it's yet another aggressive pick here for Levi.
Well, there's a line I didn't think we'd say. Aggressive pick? Levi? You don't say. But you did talk a lot about the Rise and how, there was such a high priority for Fofo. It's stolen away this time around. We've already seen the Hover of Azir. It's not banned. At least one of the options that could be run into it. And first phase, you're starting to see a bit of a mixture here. You've got a little bit of frontline, some poke, some scaling on both sides, but quite a lot of long-range poke from GPL.
Yeah, it is a lot of poke, and it's already, for me, the GPL squad looking like someone who has to kind of split push, unless you're going to draft a really strong bot lane where you can then group and then poke. But even still, you don't have a tank in the top lane, you don't have a tank in the jungle. You're already looking like less of a team fighty squad in general. Whereas over on this side, you have long range damage coming out of the MF, coming out of the Azir. You have control with the Azir wall, and you have this beefy, strong frontliner in the Sejuani, who's such a powerful team fight jungler. So there is a lot of powerful team fight, and it feels like we're already kind of going down the same road that we were in game one, where SEA is going to be having to split the map. We'll see if anything changes from that, though, with the final picks.
Surprise, it's Jace support at some point. No, that's not going to happen.
Only time we saw that was Mata, and I don't think you want to see that one again.
It did not end very well.
No, it didn't.
It did not end very well. The last few bans here, Azael. Varus, Tom Kench, Janna, and Maokai. Ooh. The Leona is locked into complement his Misfortune, so going to give them again. I mean, LMS could kill all of GPL without ever physically landing a champion-based auto. Bullet time, Sand Soldiers, Solar Flare.
All right, you're kind of the Sand Soldier. It's not a champion auto.
It is not a champion.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
By technicality of the word.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct, as Freak would always say. All right, well, the Leona is a takeaway from Kra, and you're like, wait, is this a compliment? Is this an insult?
No.
I'm not sure. You're kind
of
living in that danger
I have to be honest, my brain went to, like, time to insult Freak. And I was like, no, this is not appropriate.
Here.
He's not here. He can't defend himself. So I stalled. I didn't have anything to say, Azael, because I had nothing nice to say.
You still obviously didn't have nothing to say because you're just kind of vamping
I'm
there.
vamping.
But we're going back into the picks and bans.
Tristana
we got a game going on here.
And
Quick shot.
Alistar. What do you think of this bottom lane? It's another Alistar for Kra.
It is another Alistar. They took away the Leona. I think it can work pretty well into the Leona specifically, and you also do have a bit of CC to actually answer and try to disrupt the MF ultimate. You have some dive to try to get back on the Azir and maybe put him in a position where you can take him down. The headbutt works pretty well into the Zenith Blade. If you actually buffer your headbutt, you can knock the Leona away as she's trying to go in, so there are some cool answers there. This is going to be a Sion as the lock-in, though, and Sion, you would think, well, you're probably going to get poked out. You're probably going to get bullied very hard by the Jace, which can happen, but Sion with Comet actually can match up pretty well against some of these ranged champions. You can go for things like an earlier Glacial Shroud, like a Catalyst, getting a lot of mana, a lot of CDR, and you can go for an Emax, and if you consistently hit that, you can fight back quite well against the Jace, even in the early stages.
And Jisoo did play this. He went 1, 2, and 13 when he played that champion earlier. And we'll keep our eyes on him and whether or not he can get that poke. I like the GPL squad here. They don't want to swap, so everybody locked in their own respective champion. Yeah. Screw strategy and blind pick and baiting. Let's see how this comp works, because like you said, I think higher complexity maybe on the GPL side when you've already got communication challenges, and let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a very similar composition. I will say it's maybe not quite as risky because you have some more wave clear coming out of the Rise. You still have wave clear in your AD carry. But that being said, you have a split bushy type top, you have an aggressive jungler, whereas LMS is drafting essentially 3 frontliners and 2 high DPS people. These are not complicated compositions to run. It is very simple, and honestly, for a tournament where you have just come together, where you don't have a lot of practice and complexity, it's probably an easier and smarter composition to run. But we'll have to see if SEA can spread the map. If you get ahead, you can certainly group, you can poke, you can siege that way with the Tristana, the Jace, the Nidalee. But if they fall behind, again, could be pretty tough to deal with a triple frontline composition.
Well, just don't fall behind. That's simple. Come on. Come on, gents. I want to see a deciding game. I want a game 3. So I'm putting on my GPL hat this game. And let's see what Salty says you can do. LMS somewhat grouping towards the top here. At least Sword Art has made his way alongside Casa and Ziv. But it looks more defensive than really any sort of invade. Obviously against a Nidalee who can get up to some shenanigans in the early game.
Yeah, definitely some interesting choices in the masteries again here as well. Comet Sion, something I had talked about. First time I saw that was Kespa Cup, but it is something that's relatively common now. We're also seeing press the attack on Jace, which I think is pretty atypical. Most Jace players I see are still running Airy, kind of more consistent poke, because generally speaking, it's hard to get those 3 hits off on the Jace. You can use your W for the auto speed up, but then you're kind of committing to a pretty long trade. We'll see how effective Jisoo is going to be able to be. I would say in the later stages of the game, especially if you're building for the 1v1, like Black Keeper, Bork, this sort of thing, it's going to be stronger against the Sion, and likewise, Dantis going press the attack here too. He's not opting for something more defensive.
I suppose when you've got Sion, Sejuani, Leona, fairly tanky melee champions, Jisoo maybe reckoning, you'll get that time, but we'll only be able to judge that as the game plays out, right? And see where we can get that effectiveness up and running. And Levi, once again, that glacial augments.
Exactly, and the slow is going to allow you to kind of have some additional, I won't say CC, but kind of control and chase to be able to kind of run people down. If you can get ahead, this can be extremely powerful. He is also going for the magical boots, and that does give you 10 additional move speed. So that in combination with the glacial augment can be very powerful.
All right, take a look at the
already here.
Javelin toss already. Flash forward from Levi. Flash forward from Patrick for first blood. And Levi stamps down authority to start game 2.
Very nice. And it's first blood going over there to Patrick, which is really going to help him out get the early tier going. And that's the power sometimes of this Rise in the early game. The gang assist can be so powerful.
And of course, Flash and heal used there by Fofo. Already summon a spell blown. Jisoo looks like he's been tagged most likely by a couple of spells. That Roar of the Slayer, maybe poking him down somewhat. But here's a replay of that point and click route from Patrick.
Here it is again. Patrick, as soon as he gets level 2, you rank up the stun, guarantees the spear to land, and once you're hit by that, it's basically all over. Really nicely done by Levi and Patrick to commit to that. They get both the summoners, but in the top lane, as you said, I mean, Jisoo had been getting hit by a lot of comets, and if you're losing early on, if you fall behind a tank as a split pusher like Jace, it becomes almost impossible to push him out because it gets such effective itemization with Bramble Vest, with Tabbies, and a Levi trying to come in here and see what he can get done.
All right, Javelin Toss will tag Ziv. Soul Furnace Shield buys just a little bit of time for Ziv, but he holds on to the flash. No real follow-up there from Jisoo, so it's just poking, buying some control here and some time for Jisoo.
Exactly. He's trying to put on a little bit of pressure, come up top, threaten a little bit, try to even out that health a little bit. But Jisoo is still behind, and Karsa is farming. They're going to try to knock Sword Art into the turret.
Oh, very nice. Sword Art with the Zenith Blade makes his way to safety. No follow-up from Dantes and Kra. There's a big minion wave to fight into, and they don't get the kill.
Yeah, Karsa is down here. They could actually look for the dive, very likely going to go for it. Dantes doesn't have his flash either, so that was blown by the bot lane.
Oh, very, very problematic here for GPL. Karsa not yet
Karsa
spotted. Keep your eyes for any potential double up, and Sword Art is running Ignite. So if Kra sticks around, that could be tickets for him.
And this is a flash on Leona. There's no flash available on the Tristana. You hit a comet with BB, you flash forward, you look for it.
While Kra might decide to go in, gets the headbutt, the pulverize knocks Sword Art under the tower. The explosive dart comes up. Kra forced to flash for his life. Dantes was ticking down from the Ignite. Southeast Asia, they survive. They live to fight another day. Battle's not yet over, and I think just enough mana for a double up. If BB can find the right angle, that could be not after that heal.
Yeah, and he does have mana flow banned, so he is going to be able to stick around. He'll get that mana back. He's trying to prep the back minions there. When you keep the range minions low, you always threaten the execute double up, which gets bonus damage if you kill the first target you're hitting. So you're kind of forcing your opponent's hand on where they can position. That's corralling them for the make it range.
And here comes Levi, once again, really trying to show LMS who wears the pants and forces the flash from Ziv.
Yeah, but honestly, when Levi is giving so much attention up there, and your Jace is basically even on farm against the tank, things are not boding well, and Patrick has no flash.
No, he doesn't. Gets a good rune down. The shield as well from those runes. Passive.
Nice
Insta cleanse! There was no lag there, and Patrick walks away.
Patrick with the Captain Jack cleanse. So nicely done to get out of there. That was actually beautiful. I thought he was dead to rights.
I was convinced he was. But like you said,
you just got to one-up me, don't you?
Look at the moves. Look at the moves. Managed
to
make it work.
What was that?
Hey, look, Southeast Asia, they're opening up game too well. They got first blood. They fended off all of Karsa's pressure. The bottom lane survived. The mid lane survived.
Yeah.
Now, almost everybody is summoner spell list. There's one flash for Jisoo. But if the next few minutes can slow down, they can, take this composition into a great position.
Certainly. I think at the same time, you're still facing a better team fighting team, and I'm always going to be concerned about a Jace who's not smashing lane. If you're playing a Jace into a tank, you need to be dominating lane. If you are not, you're just full stop, you're less worth anything. Like, you're just not going to contribute a lot to the team fight because it's so hard to really find the Shock Blast on these targets in the backline when there's 3 tanks in the front line. You don't really shred them down that easily either, so you have to win split push. If you can't do that, you can't really do much.
Still time for Southeast Asia. What do you make of Ziv's itemization here? He's got himself a little stopwatch. Let's see with that. He's going to be making his way sooner or later. Patrick gets knocked under the tower, takes 1 tower shot.
Done again.
Shield buys some time, and that Realm Warp keeps him alive. Continues to run away from those Sand Soldiers, but that was very well played with the ultimate and that rune shield that he was able to pick up.
Yeah, pretty cute. And he's going to be able to get out, pick up the fruit, and be pretty healthy here. But as far as the stopwatch does deny a lot of things like early dives. If you're getting poked out, if you are losing lane, that's a way that you can really fall behind if you get dove, and that does give you the additional playmaking. Oh my god, that damage. And you still can actually build it into some pretty useful items later in the game.
We'll keep an eye on when Ziv decides to use his one-time stopwatch. Stop things down. Patrick's going to run forward. Fofo, I think he was just able to buffer up that Conquering Sands and slides away to safety. As Patrick keeps him under pressure. 51 CS to 54. Fofo's doing relatively well in the farm game. Of course, both mid laners have been ganked by their opponent's jungler. And as it stands, LMS on an even keel. By this point in the previous game, it was already a 2,000 gold lead. So this is a significantly better start here for GPL and Southeast Asia.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. And I'm going to be interested to see if the stopwatch means at all that he's going towards a quicker stone plate. I mean, because it does reduce the cost of that also, and it does build into that item. It's something that a lot of people forget. It builds into GA stone plate as well as the Zonias.
Yep.
So
it just would you expect that for itemization on Scion?
I think it's actually very good on Scion, just not super early, but okay. I think as like a third item or something can be super effective. I think, especially with this Comet build, you want to build mana early on. You know, with the second mana crystal there on top of the Glacial Shroud, I am expecting Catalyst, and that's kind of the more typical build. You have a lot of CDR. Yeah. You build that into an Abyssal later on. You can build either an Iceborne or a Frozen Heart, and then you have tons of CDR, tons of mana. You can spam E and still kind of contribute that poke to the lane.
It's just really fun to see Scion in the top lane, champion we haven't seen for quite a while. Actually, you know, he was meta a long time ago, and now with some of the changes in Runes Reforged, shining just a little bit more.
Yeah, and with a very creative setup, right? This is not a Q-max Scion. You actually only put 1 point in your Q for that big slam. It's max your E for the poke, then you actually max your shield second to be able to be kind of more tanky and sitting around there. So it's definitely a very smart setup, and it's always cool to see players, you know, finding ways to make a champion viable in a new way.
All right, let's see what Levi can do. Manages to find a tag with that javelin toss.
He wants to go in.
Gonna follow the realm warp. Now he's in trouble.
BB has ultimate available.
Straight into LMS. There's a bullet time available for BB. He's trying to line it up. Gets one. Caster's already on the board. Jisoo finished off the teleport. Now he's looking to press the attack. Solar Flare comes down and GPL are running for their lives. Ziv joins the board and with a decimating smash, knocks up the GPL. Kra and Dantes escape for now. They get one on the way out. It's BB that loses his life. Dantes gets tagged with the slow. The Comet follows thereafter, and LMS, they come away 3 for 1.
Yeah, it feels like GPL felt like they needed to get ahead there. They needed a big win, and they're not able to find it. They force the fight, but the bot lane from the LMS is able to respond so quickly. BB has his ultimate available, and they navigate that fight very well. A lot of credit to Fofo for kiting back, for not actually going down. It's a couple kills going their way, and this starts with an SEA engage. They feel like they found Sword Art out, but he's able to flash back. He's a relatively tanky member, and honestly, the collapse is just going to come in faster from the LMS. BB is already here. Dante's still quite far away if you're actually tracking him in the bot lane. He's just now getting up to where he can enter the fight, and BB has already taken someone down, so despite the fact that he does get caught, he does get burst down later on, the fight is already over. The fight is in full retreat.
It just felt like both teams were ready for the engage, and LMS had tighter net. Their team fight was significantly better. They just managed to make that work. Really well played LMS. They take a 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, it's just not really a chase you could afford to make when the proximity of the bot lane is so much closer for BB and Sword Art. You're going to have BB getting up there. It's not like they found the AD carry. They found a Leona, who's a very tanky member. Again, Patrick may be getting caught here.
Has indeed. That's a good interrupt from Kra, buying some time. Levi doesn't really want to be in the thick of things. He's starting to back away. Kra now needs to run for his life. The Javelin toss runs a little bit low. This explosive charge not going to be enough. It is enough. I did not see that coming. Now Dante's forced a rocket jump over the wall. Sword Art can't follow with the Zenith Blade. Kra gets shut down inside the jungle. And again, a sloppy exchange. It's a 1 for 2. Sword Art, he fancies his chances. Yeah, he's going to look for the Zenith Blade, but the recall will complete. And Sword Art unable to find his man.
Yep, he's going to be able to get out of there. So does survive, and thankfully it's a kill going over to Dantes, which is definitely an important member. You can see Jisoo is building purely for that 1v1. He's actually rushing a Blade of the Rune King. Going to give you some attack speed for some press the attack, and the percentage HP damage can be pretty effective against tanks, but really it's not a lot of HP being stacked just yet because Ziv is going for the Iceborne Gauntlet, which is going to be pretty powerful in that 1v1, but if he gets too far up, this means you're relatively vulnerable to Levi, who is magic damage, and you don't have HP.
Well, even with the 1v1 build, Jisoo's bringing in support. Levi gets a tag, and Ziv is just going to curve around the corner with that unstoppable onslaught retreat. We saw that happen quite a few times, actually, when we saw him play last time.
Certainly did. The dragon that's on the map right now with the Infernal up would actually be so nice for the GPL because you have such a damage-heavy squad. Basically everyone on this team except Alistar is going to get a lot out of it. It's obviously still good for the LMS, but with 3 tanks, they're not building a lot of AP or AD, and it's not going to be as big of a deal for them.
If we look at the minimap, Azael, because of the Dragon, we've seen a lot of priority around it. Time and time again, these teams are moving, and that's why now Patrick is coming to help out Ziv and Casa. The Realm Warp delivers Patrick into the bottom lane. He's going to get tagged by that bowler of Casa, and nothing further follows up. So GPL, they're trying to make a play happen. Yeah, they jumped on Sword Art. They've now tried to 3-man gank. They tried a 2-on-1. But the last few minutes, the last few plays, they fizzled.
And the fact of the matter is, the only people they're actually jumping on and catching are the really big tanks, right? It's Leona. They caught out in the bot lane, kind of. That went wrong. I mean, this is Senwani. There's a Sion they're trying to gank a number of times, but they're very hard to kill champions. They're very, very tanky. They're very, very durable. If you catch the MF or the Azir, it's much more likely to work, but you know, a Nidalee with a Frostfang and no completed jungle item is not going to be one-shotting a Sion or a Sejuani or someone like that.
Levi's going to get jumped on here by Casa. It's a fight to his life.
Oh, it was close.
Very good blast cone. While that's going on, Kra and Dante is it caught BB all the other way around. Is it bullet time comes down? Kra gets taken out. Oh man, Sword Art shuts down Dante's. Didn't see the setup for that one, but it's LMS that win.
Yeah, the lethality MF this early on, Ghostblade and another serrated Dirk completed means you are going to get shredded as Dantes. This Tristana needs so much more time to scale. You need 2-3 items, whereas MF, you're pretty much ready from the board go.
Yeah, definitely the case. Especially when the enemy's running away.
Yeah.
That makes bullet time significantly easier. Tower first blood secured, thanks to that 2-for-0. And we can only assume that GPL started the fight, but it was LMS that ended it. It was definitely a knockout punch. And hopefully, there we go, there's a replay of how this started out as well.
Yeah, and it looked like the LMS did start it out onto Kra, but they felt like they could turn it around. But this is actually just really good zoning from BB and Sword Art. They kite back, they drop the Make It Rain, drop that E in between Dantes and the rest, and Dantes doesn't really feel like he had a good way to get back to that MF to follow up on the fight. And with that jump used, the ultimate expires for Kra, he gets burst down, and Dantes just doesn't have too much to contribute at this point.
Nah, not too much, nor does the rest of the team. I mean, it's minus 4,000 gold. You've got adjacent to Sion that's down 20 CS. You've got Dantes and Kra who are in so much trouble. The Pulverize is not going to find a target. Headbutt is available. That will buy some time for Fofo. And he can so easily slide across the wall. It's actually one of the few targets he probably didn't want to hit over that way. And as it stands, Dantes gives up his life and Kra's able to walk away.
Yeah, it's just really rough. I mean, the Tristana is more of a late game champion. You're 1,500 gold behind a stronger earlier champion already. I mean, with Ghostblade, Dustblade completed, one Q is essentially going to mean death for Dantes.
Patrick gets interrupted by the Shield of Daybreak. His Realm Warp is interrupted. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because there was no follow-up damage. But Sword Art is just having a fantastic game. It's not the Blitzcrank that we were hoping to see Azael, but the Leona's just as good when it's being played this beautifully. Tower dive was on the cards.
Yeah, and
Sword Art backs away.
Alternatively, GPL is trying to set up some turret pressure here on the bot side. There is a Blade of the Rune King finally completed for Jisoo. It felt like that was about the first trade he had won all game. Does have some good power now in his kit with that Blade of the Rune King. We'll see if he's going to go into a Black Cleaver or straight maybe 4 Lapis or some Armor Pen for this 1v1. But Ziv deserves a lot of credit because honestly, him holding up in the 1v1, him winning as a tank into this chase means that there's just so much stability. Like that was supposed to be the pressure valve for the SEA. Levi constantly went up there. You're supposed to be snowballing that lane. Multiple people are supposed to have to go to stop Jisoo, and it's just not happening. So the rest of the map is collapsing.
And especially after Ziv was under pressure in the previous game, he played the Gnar into the Akali.
Yeah. You
know, struggled a little bit in lane, bounced back, pulled out a pick that's not necessarily standard right now. Not that there really isn't any standard. It's off-season anyway. But regardless of that fact, LMS, you know, they showed up. They've had a great day. 2 very convincing games already, and now they've just got to use this lead. Press down the Baron or the turrets as this last outer is now under siege. In Southeast Asia, the roller coaster may be coming to an end.
Yeah, it's certainly looking that way. I mean, LMS showed in Game 1 they know exactly how to close out games quickly and effectively. They covered around the Baron vision. For now, though, they're just setting up these picks on the side, and Ziv actually looking for Dantes. We'll see if he gets caught.
Decimating Smash will slow down Dantes. He used the Buster Shot to buy some time. War of the Slayer will slow down Dante, so we go down in the bottom. Emperor's Divide splits up Kra as well as Jisoo, and the bullet time brings it home. LMS get their 10th kill of the game. Shelly is summoned to help knock down the inner turret in the bottom lane, and that will be the 4th that they're looking to see.
Yeah, they're moving so well around the map, utilizing the M map as well as all the CC from these other guys there. You have the Parsa's ultimate, you have Sword Art's ultimate, locking them down, even Fofo shuffling them into that MF vault and just getting destroyed. They can actually just take the inhibitor turret straight up. I don't think there's anything to worry about it. SEA wants to take a pick, they're going to lose.
Yeah, they're going to. Patrick gets caught by the Zenith Blade and he's dove, but the damage is interrupted. Kra doing some work on the back end, but it's a 7,000 gold deficit that GPL have to fight.
Oh, Ziv
is on the inhibitor, while Patrick is still running for his life. He shuts down Ziv. Zombie Ziv gets one back. Jisoo's taken down from beyond the grave. And that's where you use the stopwatch on the steps of the fountain. It opens up the base. Shelly takes down the inhibitor, and LMS make it out. It's not done yet, though, as Fofo sends a Sand Soldier into Dante's face, and those javelins are flying wide. Levi cannot find his targets, and the LMS are looking to escape.
Ziv popping the style
That's
watch.
so good.
That was fantastic. You gotta love it. They are in full control of the game, looking so dominant. Inhibitor already down, 3-20 minutes, but here is the dime again. The GPL trying to hold on. It was a really nice combo in the backline with Kra and Levi, but then it all starts to fall apart. Not enough damage. Ziv comes in. Watch this ultimate from Ziv. Flashes in the middle. Three-man knockup with his ultimate there into the devastating smash, and does go down, but putting out so much damage from the Ghost Form, gets a kill, sets up his team to guarantee the inhibitor, and style and substance, Ziv has it all.
From beyond the grave. Like, activatable item in Scion passive. Yeah. Why not?
Love it.
Man, okay, 7k gold, 20 minutes has just popped, and there's already super minions to deal with in the bottom lane. And we started the day, Azale, talking about like big brother versus little brother. This feels pretty much how, like, you know, my big brother, little brother fights go. As Patrick is caught out, takes a couple of ultimates to the face, and despite surviving a few seconds longer, 3-on-1, he just gets shut down.
Yeah, and every time I look over at BB, his items are just getting scarier and scarier. This feels looking like it could go Levi's way, but Ziv can just retreat, and they can be pressuring this Baron. I mean, they see Jisoo on the bottom side of the map. Yes, he has TP, but even if you TP in, how do you actually take the fight? The Baron looking like it's going to be gone before they even have a chance.
All right, Jisoo's going to teleport in, and here comes Kra. Decides not to engage, in fact. Ziv gets tagged by yet another Javelin Sauce. Kra is locked out. The wall is closed. You can't get past those soldiers, and that's the 14th kill, plus Baron now. And Ziv, is he going to try chase Dante? Nope, just push the wave and set up for another siege. Starting.
This isn't looking like all she wrote. I mean, this is the death push right here. If BB gets a decent ultimate with triple lethality essentially on his character, Dantes and Patrick are going to instantly die. So will Levi. There's almost nothing they can do, and they're looking to shut out what is such a dominant series from the LMS.
Yeah, 5-0. LMS have yet to drop a game if they close this out. They will be advancing to the All-Star Finals. And they've looked fantastic so far. The inhibitor survived a couple seconds longer. In fact, still alive.
Oh my god, that ultimate!
The bullet time destroys the GPL. Jisoo's running for his life and will get shut down. GPL are aced. LMS are untouched. And before Baron can even time out, they're sieging the Nexus. Gigantic smiles on the side of the LMS squad as they decimate, destroy, and deconstruct the GPL. Welcome to the finals, LMS.
22-minute win, 2-0 for the LMS, 5-0 in the All-Stars tournament so far. They weren't even supposed to make it out of the group series.